That's the question I would ask anybody who has a ghost or think they have a ghost, is why aren't they investigating, bringing experts in to start
Have you had a
finding out?
Have you had a formal investigation by a society such as the Society for
We
Psychic
will
Research?
be soon. Obviously, we're not giving the dates out because of we don't want anything to mess the results up. But we've got ASAP involved. And
ASAP?
ASAP.
As soon as possible.
Nearly. It's a group of psychic researchers.
The Association for the Scientific Study of Anomalous Phenomena.
Thank you.
Right, yeah.
Who,
and what do you think about this?
The video, I think the mist in the background is a mist in the background. Quite often these events are just sort of people using their imagination on natural phenomena. Yeah. As to the two paper bags that float across at one stage, I don't know why anybody has thought that that was ghostly in any way.
We've actually analysed the tape. We've carried out experiments. We've done the paper bag experiment. It's certainly not that.
How would you determine whether or not this ghost is real? What would you do?
I'd need to interview everybody that was concerned. For instance, who noticed that there was anything at all on that security film in the first place?
Every morning we check the tape over for obvious reasons, because it's a security.
The whole tape?
Yes,
from
because it's a
all
time
night?
lapse. It's a time lapse. So what you do is you run through it.
Right.
And you're looking, you can see animals, you can see if any, thankfully.
What's the time lapse on it?
A 1 second lapse.
And how many hours is it on for?
It's on for...
you ought to be saying this.
Well, yeah.
Lots of hours.
No, I don't mind. I'm just conscious. Don't say anything.
In truth, the camera is running 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Even when the museum's open, the camera's running.
You see, I find it hard to believe, sorry to interrupt you, that somebody every day sits down for hours looking at every frame of that camera.
What you do is you do it. You do it in a course of. I mean, the museum, the staff are on site for 8 hours. It's not they're going to sit down for one fell swoop. They're looking through the course of the day.
Well,
but yours is a benign ghost, and it's good for business so far.
Well, it's a very friendly.
But some of my friends over there, we're talking about ghosts and whether or not they exist, and what kind, if they do, what kind of ghosts are they? And Jane's mum and my friend over there were actually frightened by their ghosts. She found it quite terrifying. She was quite dramatic in the way she pointed to her chest and the feeling in her ghost. And indeed, Pat and Zoe don't like their ghosts. They are, if not terrified, you're slightly afraid about it. Are they always terrifying?
No, not really. I was married 9 weeks when my husband collapsed and died. And I went through 12 months of very bad emotional grief. And then I'd been out to a business meeting and came in to the house that I'd taken over from my daughter, because my husband and I, well, my husband was an American, and I stayed back in this country, and walked in one night. Yes, I'd had 2 large brandies. It's before anybody says, do I drink?
Which is normal.
Which is normal.
And
I walked in, and before I reached the bottom of the stairs, all I can tell you, Robert, is that it was like a big fireball of light, and it came down the winding stairs and covered me. And all I can tell you is that I felt so powerful. I felt as though if I'd have been Moses, I could have parted the waters. And I know it sounds really strange, but it was a burst of energy that it was phenomenal.
It was a good feeling.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Have you had these 2 glasses of brandy since?
Loads.
Did you get the same feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, what brand is this?
No,
And who do you think it was?
Well, what happened 24 hours later is that I went to bed in the evening, and all of a sudden I felt a presence in the room, and just the feeling said to me, open your eyes, and I kept saying no, and I wouldn't open my eyes, and I know that Richard had been there, and I knew that if I opened my eyes, it would be probably the last time that I saw him.
Why?
And
Why did you
know
that?
It was just gut instinct. I mean, I'm a very open...
So you didn't open your eyes,
No, I didn't open my eyes. And when I turned over, and then all of a sudden the bedclothes just went down and his arms went round me. And I just had that warm glow again.
And you felt that?
And I felt that. And that meeting was the first time that I'd been actually quite happy since he died.
So this was reassuring?
So this was reassuring.
Comforting?
Oh, yes.
So how do you feel now?
Now, I'm not afraid to die. I can live my life, and I know he'll always be there with me. And he was cremated. He wasn't buried, he was cremated. And the thing is that I know, because of things that do happen still in the house, that he's still there. And there's things that move around.
Yeah. Couldn't it just be your grief coming out? I mean, it's you want to see him, so you see him.
Well,
it's just your mind playing tricks, isn't it?
No,
it's got to be.
No, because to be perfectly truthful, is that I was married 9 weeks. He collapsed 10 days after we got married. I nursed him for 7 weeks in intensive care. I gave the whole of my energy to him. And then I went through 12 months of trying to sort things out. And yes, I was very low. But for that first time when that apparition happened, is that I was, for the first time, very happy. Now, Rich and I had known each other for a long time. And because he lived over in America, our main aim of meeting one another or having a relationship was always through communication, and it was always we could talk to one another and know what one another was speaking.
If you want something, I mean, if you're in a desert, you see a mirage because you want it.
Yeah, all right, okay. So well, I want to win the lottery.
No, because I wouldn't talk
I can't make that happen, can I?
We all do, sweethearts. Every Saturday and Wednesday we all pray.
Yeah, well, I want that so much, and it's not here in my hands.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're married to someone, you rely on that person being there all the time for you. It's the same as like being in the desert.
Yeah, but you're on about. Yeah, but you are on about. You feel your grief so much. Yes, I do have a ghost.
Tell him.
I have a ghost of my son, right, who was a twin to my other son, obviously, and he died 5 hours old, right. That's 2 years ago, and about 3 or 4 weeks ago, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, and I heard my son's music box playing. Explain that. There was nobody else in the room except my son. He was in his cot fast asleep. I was in the next room fast asleep, and then I woke up, heard the music box playing.
As far as I'm concerned, there's an explanation for something.
It was Jacob.
Was the other twin doing it? Yeah. Just to let you know that he's still there and that he's all right.
Yeah. Why are you so certain?
Well, because my spirit in my house is my brother, and he's been dead for 11 years now.
What does your brother's spirit do?
He comes to me. I woke up one night and he was standing at the end of my bed. I woke my partner up to, say, look, there's Mark. And when he woke
up... What was
Mark
doing?
He was just standing at the end of my bed, just looking at me.
What did he look like?
It was him. It was definitely him.
No, was he kind of ethereal spirit, or was he the real physical person?
No, it was him.
You could touch and...
Well, no, I couldn't touch him. I didn't get a chance to touch him.
But what was he in his physical manifestation?
Yeah.
Or was he was?
Yeah.
Real, solid,
yeah.
Heavy?
Yeah. He was there. It was definitely him.
You weren't dreaming?
No.
You hadn't had these 2 brandies? You hadn't been sharing
no.
you?
I thought I was dreaming for a long time until I was told that...
Did he say anything?
No.
How often have you seen him?
I have spoke to... I've been to someone and they've gone into a trance. He's taken over their body and spoke to me that way.
How often have you seen
him? I only see him the once, but I will see him again.
How do you know?
Because he's told me I'll see him again.
You said he didn't speak to you? I asked you, did he speak? And
yeah,
you said
he
no.
spoke to me.
You seen him once and you said no?
No, he didn't speak to me that time.
But he spoke to you?
But I didn't see him that time. He was in somebody else's body, so I didn't see him.
Thought I'd caught you out there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not trying to catch you out, I just want to know the truth. When you say, how old was he when he died?
23. Died in
how
a car
old were
accident. 19.
You loved your brother?
Devastated,
Close?
yeah.
Close.
3 years.
Good communications.
Yep.
Just like my friend Beverly and Rich.
Yeah, I've got a son now that's named after him. That's very much like him as well.
Right. Are you, and I'm not in any way trying to be disrespectful or undermine the feelings. Clearly, I'm asking the questions, that's all.
Yep.
You know that. Do you, and you know what I'm going to say, is this something that you kind of are creating because it's something that gives you, and we all can see that, the comfort and the sustenance?
No.
It's not.
No.
You are clear in your own mind that you know you would want to create it, but you're not.
No.
Richard?
Well, first of all, good that everybody's getting some benefit out of the experience. Second, though, all 3 experiences were when you were in bed, either possibly dreaming, but hold on a second. Let me just finish.
The day after.
Let me finish.
A lot of people, as they go into dream state or come out of dream state, experience very vivid imagery, and so you're not dreaming. You are conscious, but you're having.
I did think that for a long time.
And the figure at the end of the bed and the sense of presence is the classic one. And you said yourself you thought it was a dream before somebody told you
I did
otherwise.
Think that for a long time until I was told by a medium.
But here you have a medium coming in saying, "Oh, that wasn't a dream. That was a figure." I mean, it could have been, just this rather unusual dream state.
Yes, but the day after, literally the day after it happened to me at 2 o'clock in the morning, at about, I don't know, 10:30, I was in the bathroom cleaning my son's teeth, and it happened again. Okay. Now that is not me dreaming.
Were they identical twins?
No, they weren't identical, but they were they were born 3 months prematurely, so they'd had a real struggle to fight to get through. And Jacob, although he was the weaker twin, he sort of carried his brother through to make sure that he passed the gestation period where he would live. And I do believe they still have a strong connection, and I believe he talks to him now.
Yeah, definitely.
When you say
the radio that comes on.
No, it's not a radio, it's a music box, a little wind-up toy.
Well, I mean, surely if it's just a toy, then there's got to be some explanation for why it's coming on.
You explain it then. Let's hear it.
I'm not a scientist, but I mean,
then.
just
you heard what the lady said. Explain it.
Just because the music box comes on, don't mean to say it's a ghost, does it? Really?
Right. So what is
So
it?
you haven't
The
seen
wind.
it.
I'm very sorry. Wind's got fingers and can turn it. Then can it? And the wind can be selective and just knock off trees.
Do you want to retire hurt?
Is that right?
I still think that it's not a ghost that's doing things like this. I mean, it's just because it's playing.
I respect that of you.
What about a spirit?
Yeah.
Someone's spirit.
Like I had a ghost in my house, and 2 years ago I undertook an experience where I had my throat cut. Now I believe that I should have died. Everyone said I should have died. Doctors, etc.
Well, you were attacked.
Yes.
I can see the scar. You were attacked by something. Yeah.
And I should have died. There's no doubt about it. But I wasn't scared. I can remember actually dying. This lady saved my life. Well, she kept me alive for 40 minutes from when it happened to when the ambulance came. I lost 4.2 pints of blood, and there was no way in hell I should have lived. But somebody walked with me that day, and I know they did. And
that's a spirit or a ghost?
A ghost was in my house.
What's the difference between a spirit and a ghost?
I don't know.
What's the difference between a spirit? You can tell me. There isn't a difference. Well, they're the same. What is a ghost? What's a ghost?
That would depend on. There's that many different types.
What's a ghost?
All right, there's that many different types.
You sound like a politician on the one hand and on the other hand. I know how to do that.
You've actually heard 5 different types of ghosts. Right. From 5 different people.
Go through them quickly for me. What are they? One is what?
You've had poltergeist.
What's that?
Poltergeist is the ghost that moves things,
Next
not
one.
throws
Got
things,
that one.
moves
Next one.
things.
Next one.
The next one is a recording.
What?
A recording.
It's you, Beverly.
Yes, it records. It keeps playing over and over and over again at certain times.
Okay.
And eventually that will wear out. No, sorry, that wasn't you. Yours is premonition.
That's another ghost. That's not a ghost. Premonition is
your...
Yeah,
it is.
It's not premonition. I've got a feeling something... I've got a feeling I'm going to win the lottery this week. I've got a powerful feeling I am going to win the lottery. I'll share it with your mum. I'll give my mum a bit and anybody else.
There was a well-known case of Lord Lyttelton.
Yeah.
Right? Who saw a ghost and that told him he was going to die at a certain time on a certain date, and it did. And that is the type of ghost that this lady's getting. It's a premonition. He's appearing to her and he's telling her something.
You are describing internal human emotions. You're not describing a separate physical or whatever identity. You are you are internally describing how we are reacting to certain circumstances.
No.
You're not describing something that is separate.
Am
I right, Richard? Am I right? Well, I don't pretend to be an expert in this, but I'm just deducing what Michael was saying. He's suggesting that he was really describing how my friend Beverly and others have been reacting to something rather than describing the thing itself.
We have different types of experiences. You have physical movement of an object. You have people seeing some kind of unusual shape shape which maybe feel odd as it comes towards you or touches you. The most common type is people waking up suddenly and seeing a figure at the end of the bed. These are different types of experiences. I don't think there's any reason to think they're ghostly or anything going on like that. I do think they're genuine experiences. I just think there's some kind of...
They're genuine as far as we proceeded. Nicola?
What do you do if you have one that doesn't fit a specific category?
What's yours like then?
Well, it moves things. You can see it. You can talk to it. You know. It's not a white mist.
Does it terrify you?
Yes.
Yeah. In what way?
Well, it attacks you.
How?
It tries strangling myself. It talks to my children.
What does it say to your children?
I don't know. We can just hear them talking to it, my eldest son in particular.
Does he talk to you? The ghost, I mean.
It's spoken to me.
What's it said?
It just said, you know who I am.
Who is it?
I don't know.
So it was wrong.
All right, it's an inaccurate ghost. Still can be a ghost. You are frightened of this ghost?
Yes. Yeah. Petrified.
What do you mean, yes, Mark?
Yeah.
You're frightened too?
Yeah, well, I've seen it.
You've seen it? What's it like? Describe it to me.
Looked just like Nikki.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but she was in the bath and I saw it in the living room.
What did it do?
I just turned around with her, it smiled.
I smiled at him.
I turned away, I turned back and it had gone. But like...
Well, what... You're genuinely afraid of this?
Yeah.
What's it done to your relationship?
Ruined it.
Ruined it?
It's not right good.
He won't stay at the house. He puts up a fight to babysit for the children.
What, you have to... hang on, you won't stay at the house?
He won't stay at the house.
But you stay at the house?
I have to, yeah.
Oh, so you leave her on her own, do you?
Yes.
Hang on, what's this, all the kind of chivalry and the macho bit? If you're worried there's a real you believe there's a ghost?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what are you leaving her on her own for, then? Why aren't you there, cuddling her in bed and putting your big arms around her? What?
I'm frightened of ghosts.
He's frightened of ghosts.
Does the ghost always manifest itself as you?
I've only seen it once.
You've only seen it once, because that might not be you astral travelling then. Yeah. Can you astral travel?
Yes. She doesn't know. She hasn't bought a ticket for that one yet. What about him? You see, tell him he's right. He's that terrified. He believes. No, it's not obvious he wears the trousers. He's not a small bloke, is he? He's quite a beefy bloke. He wears big boots anyway. And he leaves her on his own. He leaves her on her own. Would you leave her on her own? No. No, you wouldn't. So he must tell me.
What? He doesn't believe, though, does he?
What about him? What about him?
Takes a man to a bit scared.
It's only the living.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I've worked a large factory on nights for about a year and a half, and that was supposed to be haunted. And like some nights I'd be on my own in massive workshops with shadows and stuff like that, and I never see a thing. And I'm sorry, you need to get a life, because I mean, like leaving the young lady on her own, that is just silly.
Mark,
really
it's silly.
Mark,
it's worse when I'm there than when I'm not there.
It's worse when I'm there. She doesn't like. She doesn't. What you think is Nicola, the real Nicola, trying to get rid of you?
No. Excuse me.
When you say you're frightened, what are you actually frightened of?
Go on, Stephen.
What are you frightened of?
I just don't like it.
But what harm can it do you?
Well, he's tried strangling her.
But
so she
if that
says,
case, if you genuinely believe it has tried strangling her, I really genuinely cannot understand how you can leave her alone in the house. I can't, because if it was me, if I felt like that about me and I was as terrified as you are, and I'd want to get out of the house like you did, but I wouldn't leave my wife or partner behind.
Have you tried to...
Hang on, let me finish, Jane.
Well, she lived with the ghost before I met her, so she's used to it.
I don't know. You're very...
Hang on, please, my love, please.
You're very silly, love, to let this get hold of you. For one thing, you're making yourself so frightened at nothing that you're feeling as though you've got a choking feeling, somebody's choking.
Well, there's several people apart from me. Anybody who comes into the house actually witnesses it.
They're all just getting this imagination, and such as the lady.
How can a ghost
Excuse me, the lady with the bad chest, with the got the tightening on her chest. Has she seen the doctor lately?
No, we can't get her from there. What were you saying about it?
How can a ghost hurt you if it's not actually real?
Frightened. You can spend the night. I challenge anybody here that doesn't believe in it to spend a night in my house on their own.
He can frighten
you,
but he can't hurt you.
Do you want to spend the night in your house?
Spend the night in my house on your own.
Hey, you're not going to believe this. I've got a young man who wants to spend the night with you.
On his own, in my house.
You've got to be on your own.
I have to say that I'm actually a moulder as opposed to a scully. I just want to add that point. But I've had quite a few experiences when it comes to...
They don't watch the X-Files. Nobody reacted to you.
Well, I think this man over here should, actually, because he might learn a few things. But, I mean, I don't mean to be rude or anything.
Hang on, Zoe.
It's nothing like what you see on telly. It is not.
Very,
whatever you see on videos or films, it is nothing like that.
But I've seen quite a few things myself.
10 times worse.
Oh, really no, I believe you. I'm on your side. You're obviously a moulder just like me. But I mean, one of the experiences I had...
A moulder, not mouldy.
Well, I mean, one of the experiences that I had, I was 5 years old, and I was up at the dinner table, and Paul Daniels' Magic Show was on, incidentally, at the time, and I looked out of the window, and this transparent figure appeared to me outside the window, and it was a Chinese magician. And I didn't know what to make of it, and I said to my parents, can you see this thing out here?
It's a good magic trick, isn't it?
Well, it is. My parents actually couldn't see it. I was the only one that could actually see it, and about only 3 years ago, I discovered that the outfit that this ghost was wearing was actually a proper outfit that Chinese magicians actually used to wear. Now, how did I know that at 5? There's no way I could have known that.
How do we know these things, then? We've got a ghost. It's a benign one, gives you love, sustenance, support. You want to keep him. You don't want to get rid of him. But you've got one that's frightening you. It's strangling her. Yeah. It's throwing the angels, and we don't want a ghost that's throwing the angels around, do we? Because we're not going to put up with that. How'd you get rid of them?
Right. Can I just say, first of all, to this young lady here, we've all heard about seeing things. When you're physically picked up and thrown across a room that is 22 foot wide, physically thrown across a room, then you can tell you're not hallucinating, all right?
How'd you get rid of them?
Right, how do we get rid of them? First of all, any entity whatsoever, and we've got to split them. There is spirit, earthbound, and angelic. Some people are talking angelic, others are talking spirit.
We want to get rid of the nasty ones. We like the nice ones.
Well, I would like to get rid of them all, because if you were lost, I'd love to get you and make you safe, wouldn't I? And I look at a ghost as being lost.
Right, okay.
You wouldn't want to stand there shouting out.
Oh, right, OK.
And we have to look at that, and we've all got to consider that. Now then, every person that has a ghost, entity, poltergeist within the house at all, there has got to be somebody in that area that is being fed off. The depletion, mentally, physically, they will be depleted. They will become cold. I am an international exorcist for 37 years.
An exorcist, praise the Lord.
Listen,
what does that mean?
Praise the Lord. It is done by the Lord, so we'll
How'd you get rid of them?
later.
I'm running out of time, and a lot of people are waiting on your every word.
Right,
seriously.
What it is they're using negative, they're creating negative. Let's now, as a lady...
No, how'd you get rid of them?
Don't
keep going.
I get rid of them, or they get rid of them.
How'd you do it?
Bring positive, bring light, bring love, bring laughter into your home, and don't let it have a second that it's going to win or cause you to argue.
I actually got rid of ours. It was we moved into our house in November '97. It's a Victorian house. My son was around 20 months old, and just after Christmas, he kept telling everybody about a lady in black. Drove me absolute mad. I thought, I've just moved in this house. He's disturbed. He's upset. I ignored it, and I continued to ignore it. And then I'd be in his bedroom playing with him, and he would say, "Oh, there's the lady." So, in the end, one night he came into our bedroom. He kept coming into our bedroom. She was disturbing him, waking him at night, playing with him. And one night I saw a flash of light that blinded me. I was asleep. It woke me. I could hear my son talking to this something, but I couldn't do anything. She forced me down, and nobody, alive or dead, will ever get between me and my son. So I went to my mum's friends who was a medium, and she told me about sea salt and candles and things like that. I was frightened to do it. So I actually went to Ireland for a family wedding. My aunt gave me some holy water, and I'm not saying it's the holy water that did it.
Oh, it's the holy water.
I'm not.
No, it is.
I'm not saying it is that
As soon as you said you went to Ireland, I knew what you were coming back with. I know, because that's what my family do. And you got some holy water?
I got some holy water.
Where did you put the holy water?
And I went to his bedroom, where it's the only place this lady ever was, that he ever had the problem.
You sprinkled it?
I sprinkled it. I said the Lord's Prayer a few times.
Are you Catholic?
I'm a Catholic. I'm not a practising one.
No, but you were believing what
but
you were doing.
But I believed in it, and I just kept saying the Lord's Prayer and kept saying, please, please leave my son alone.
You keep saying positive power, positive power. Well, it was positive.
And it
You were
was.
taking positive action.
I had to for my son. I'd been to the doctors, he was getting ill, he wasn't sleeping. He was driving me insane with it and everybody else. And then a few nights after this, my partner had gone to Scotland, so he didn't actually see me do this. But a few nights later, he came back, fine, I was asleep. The door opened, my son walked in, as he usually did, and behind him was the lady in white. The lady that she normally wore black was white. And I looked at her, and she wasn't touching my son. She just had a hand behind his head as though she was guiding him back to me. She drew on him. She made me notice her through him because I wanted to ignore her. And the more I ignored her, the more angry she got. She needed some help. And that's what I did. And since that day, I don't have a problem. My house is fine again.
And you haven't got the ghost, or you have got the ghost?
No,
She's gone?
She's gone.
Where do you think she's gone?
Wherever they go.
She's probably in Pat's house! It is! Well, they've got to go somewhere, aren't they? It's just like, you know, the burglars and all that. You get them out of your area, they're only going to go to somebody else's. I have a problem with ghosts, obviously, but I don't know whether they exist or not. And these people here are very sensible and very straightforward. If they believe what they've seen, you've got to believe what they say. And if they're a nice ghost, and it's comforting and it's reassuring, it's not doing anybody any harm, is it? And it's doing some people a lot of good. That's the kind of ghost we all want. Take care of yourselves.
If you'd like to join Robert in a programme about rape or another programme about loneliness, call him now on 0990 200 567. Have you survived a rape attack? Were the police helpful? Was the rapist convicted? Has being raped damaged your relationships? Are you lonely? Are all your friends busy with their partners and children while you're on your own? Is it hard to meet new people? Or have you overcome loneliness?
On today's programme, according to a recent study, children who are raised by their fathers do better at school and have better social lives. Does this mean fathers make the best mothers? Marvellous Mother's Day bouquets, how to make your mum feel like $1 million without spending a fortune. And Richard Wilson will be here to tell us all about tonight's comic relief. That's the Vanessa Show, 10:10 after Wipeout.
Relax, don't worry, just want to tell you about Monday morning.
Join us with Gabby Roslin to uncover the secrets of BBC One's most famous hospital.
The cast of Casualty and Holby City will be on call to answer your questions live on air.
And we'll pit our wits in the ultimate medical quiz.
And don't forget, you'll be able to vote for your favourite Casualty episode.
This is your chance to give us a thorough examination.
Monday morning from 9 o'clock on BBC One.